Okay, hello everybody. So today I'm going to be going over how to make seamless page transitions using Next.js. So I haven't seen many videos on how to do this online, but I've seen, and I'm sure many of you have also seen, awards websites or beautiful websites where you click a link, does some sort of transition. That time it didn't actually work very well, but it does some sort of transition, and then it nice and seamlessly goes on to the next page. So this is normally done with, well, it's actually not done with Next.js or Vue or Nuxt in this case, but this is a method of doing this. So step number one of doing this, there are, I believe, 8 steps I have listed. Step number one is install Node.js. If you don't have Node.js already, get Node.js, go to nodejs.org, download it, and if you don't know if you have it, simply go into your terminal, or if you're on Windows, I'm not sure what the program is, but I think it's a command something. Just type node-v and you'll see your Node version right here. So you need, I think, above 18.17. So if you're installing Node now, great. If you have below 18, you're going to update that. So step number 2 is to create the next app in VS Code. And I guess another step, if you don't have VS Code, get VS Code. I actually already have a folder here with code where I already made this, but I'm going to make this fresh so that you guys know how to do it. So you're going to open a terminal down here. I'll actually clear it. If you want a new terminal, simply go to new terminal. And if you don't have a folder open here, which I just have my master folder open, if you don't have a folder open, just open that and then go to the master or the root folder, whatever you want to call it. Or you could create a new folder and put it in there, but I like doing it this way. So first step, npx create next app. Boom. So then it's going to take you through these prompts. I'm going to call it seamless 2 because I already have seamless number 1. Seamless 2, not using TypeScript, using ESLint, not using Tailwind because I don't like Tailwind. If you want Tailwind, you can select yes. I don't like Tailwind. No source directory, app router yes, no import alias. And then ding, 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 waiting for it to build. Oh, goodness. Okay. Did it? Okay, the npm install failed. Okay. So next step is to go into the directory. So cd seamless 2. This error here is for permissions. So that fix there is because it tried to do the npm install, but it couldn't. So you go into your directory if you're on Mac. You go sudo chown, chown, I don't know how to say it, dash capital R and your username. Nobody look at my password. I have the wrong thing in here. One moment. Sudo chown. I forgot the dot. Okay, take 2. So go into directory, sudo chown -r, your username, and then dot. So that's going to do the source directory of where you're at. Okay, cool. Now we have full permissions. If you don't know your username, go to your terminal and on Mac, just type who am I. It'll give you your username. Okay, next step, npm I. We should be good now because now we have permissions. No errors. Oh, goodness. Okay, sudo npm I. That's it. Sudo npm I. Only reason I don't like Mac Windows people always come at me and say, you know, oh, on Windows you can you don't have all these like permissions and guidelines. Mac is better.
You're not an intellectual. You're a fake and a fraud.
But this is the only reason that it's not. Okay. So now we're in, let me close these, get out of the original Seamless. We're in Seamless 1 now. So I want you to open up the page, the layout, and the global. You're going to go Command A, Command plus A, delete, get rid of all of it. Layout, the layout's fine. And then also we're going to go to page, take out this entire main, and I'm just going to do page container. You can do main, you can do whatever you want there. I'm also going to take out module, and I'm going to actually add in code that I already have pre-made. I'm going to have it in the description. So if you want to use this code, you can use it. So I'm going to paste in the styles. I'm going to paste in the layout. I don't think I really had much different in here. Actually, we don't need a link. And then I'm also going to paste in the page element. Perfect. Okay. Bring you back here. Okay, so now all that did for us is took out the original Next.js like boilerplate that they give you, because we don't need that, and added in just some basic code. You know, if you want to learn markup, this is not the video. So I'm not going to waste your time making markup in CSS. So we're going to do npm run dev. We want to get the dev server open, localhost 3000, open up my tools here, and oh boy. What do we have here? Import link. I'm doing this live right now, so I want to mess up, because if I mess up, then you guys are also going to get you're gonna get value from that, because you guys are gonna mess up too, probably, or maybe not. Maybe you're just that much better than I am. Oh yeah, also I need to copy the image folder from my previous one. I'll have the images also linked in the description where I got the royalty-free images from. So we're gonna paste that in there, because that's the error we have down here. Save, refresh, and okay. Now we have this basic stuff here. So we have the header here, which is just home, about, blog, contact, which actually blog, contact are not going to work, but we are going to do it between home and about. And you can add the extra pages if you want, but I'm just going to do it with about. So step number, I don't know which step we're on actually. Okay, step number 4, which is what we just did, is added all this placeholder in. I'm going to shrink this. And then what we're also going to do, copy all that. We're going to app, new folder, about. And then inside about, we're going to make page.js. Oops, JS. You can do JSX if you want, but I like JS because I like the little JS logo better. And we're going to paste in everything that's in the app in here. And then we're just going to replace that image with a different image. We don't have to get fancy here. We don't have to make a whole new about page. The whole point is the transition, so we don't need that. Okay, step number 5. I don't even know if I've listed the past steps, but when I edit this, I'll put the numbers on the screen. So step number 5, we're actually going to make this into a client component. And what this does is it allows us to use state, UseEffect, UseEffect, goodness, and use ref, because we're going to need all 3 of those, and you can only use them if you're using a client component. So in here, we're going to do const is loading, set is loading, equal to use state of true. So we're gonna be setting this state variable default to true because we want it to default to the page loading. We're gonna do UseEffect, and we're gonna have it run just on the initial render. So we're gonna put empty brackets here. If we wanted it to run on something else, we could put a variable there, but we're not gonna do that. So, and then also const transition ref equals use ref null. Okay, we're also going to make the reference here because we're going to need this reference to connect to our actual page transition element, which we're going to put here, overlay transition. It's just going to be an empty div, nothing in it. We'll put more stuff in it later for the second version. So, and we're also going to put the reference here, transition ref. Perfect. Any errors yet? Nothing. Clear. Perfect. Okay. So inside the UseEffect now, we're going to go over step number 6 or 6, whichever looks better on screen. And so we're going to set load, or we're going to transition the ref, and we're going to transition it down on the page. So actually, before we even make this transition, we have to make the element cover the entire page. So we're going to go into global. We're going to go down here, overlay transition, and we want it to cover the entire page at all times until we tell it not to. So width 100%, height 100 VH, Z index, just put 1000, something crazy. Background color, I'm gonna go just this this dark, very dark gray here. Top 0, left 0. Transform origin. So this part is important. So the transform origin that we set in global, that is going to be responsible for where it goes when we actually load the page. So if we put transform origin bottom here, for example, it's going to, when we transform it, it's going to go down. It's going to shrink downwards. If we put transform origin top, when we enter the page, it's going to go up. So I'm just choosing bottom here. And then we're going to go transition. I'll go 1 second, or transform 1 second ease in out. Ease in out's fine. If you want to use your own ease or use GSAP, that's fine. But I'm just going to use ease in out for this sake. So go here. Okay, great. Full screen's covered. And then also what I want to do is I want to add a class to page to the page container dot loading. So in dot loading, I want it to be overflow hidden. I don't want anything else to be shown. And then I will put max height here, 100 VH. And then normally page container, we're going to have it so it's max height none and overflow visible. So what I want to happen here, I made a bit of a mistake. Oh, I didn't put the loading yet. Okay. So what I want to happen here is I want it to be unscrollable until it's loaded. So is loading. So if loading is true, we want page container loading. Else we just want page container. And here, no scroll bar. Great. We got what we need. Okay, now that we have the reference set up, we have the style set up, we have the loading set up, we are going to actually do the transition. So on UseEffect, so on the first render, we are going to do transition ref dot current. So this is how you actually select the variable. Dot style dot transform equals scale y 0. And then we're going to do a set timeout for 1 second, 1,000 milliseconds, 1 second. So we're going to set timeout, and then set is loading is going to be false. So this is going to get rid of the loading class here, and it is also going to, yeah, I guess that's all it does there. But good way to actually check if it's loading. So we're going to refresh, and nothing happened. Let's see. Did I select it correctly? Overlay transition. Scala transform. Maybe it was the semicolon. That's what it was. It was the semicolon. That's strange. Okay, so now we have it so that on every page load, it does that for us. So now we have the full page, and then we have that. But what happens, you know, we refresh or we click a page. Oh, well, actually, hold on. Before we do that, let me copy this over. Okay, let's copy the new or the about page image using a relative URL. Okay, try again. Oh, mistake. We're gonna also get rid of module on the home page. We don't need that. Okay, now we have the about page. So now when we go to home page though, there's no ease in. There's just ease out. So that's disgusting. We don't want that. So what we want to do is we want to also have a function on link click here with the event, and then e.prevent default. And then we want to set these on clicks, on click e, on link click e. Perfect. So now what's going to happen is when we click these links, nothing's going to happen, which is what we want for now. So what we want to do now is we want to take this code here, which is the ease out code, and we want to turn it into ease in code. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the transform to scale scale y1, and we're going to change the transform origin to top. And then also on this UseEffect here, transform, now that we're changing the transform origin, we want to change the transform origin of the ease out to bottom. So on this set timeout here, we're going to set window.location.href equal to e.target.href. So this is going to take us to the next page. So I'm going to copy this over to the about, because we need that. And then I'm also going to copy over actually, on click, we're going to put it on the home link too. On link click of the event. So we're going to take everything right here, and we're going to bring it over to the about page. Save. Okay, refresh. We go to page transition. We click there. There we go. Now we have seamless page transitions. So normally in Next.js does server-side rendering, which essentially means all of the pages are effectively preloaded on the server. That way you have this sort of seamless what's the word I'm looking for? This seamless effect anyway. But what you don't have is something nice to go in between. So normally with the Next.js app, you have very quick pages. This is a standard Next.js application. Obviously, it's quick, but it's a little jarring. So if you want to sacrifice, a second or maybe 2 seconds of transition time to look nice, such as this website here, it's a nice way to ease into, making your website look just a little bit nicer, just a little bit. So we're gonna revert back to where we were before. We're gonna keep pointer if it's none actually, but we're gonna revert that. We're also going to bring these back. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, since we are now in step 7, which is make the functions for the easing in, the easing out, because every time we make a page, we don't want to have to copy all of this code in, and the header is going to stay the same every time as well. So is the overlay transition. So we're going to do 2 things. We are going to we're going to make a components folder, and in there we're going to use a header.js. We're going to make a RFC, React Functional Component, for our header, and that is going to be this code right here. So I'm going to make a React fragment, paste all that in there, and then I'm also going to take all of this up top, actually just take this, and I'm going to take all of this from there. So we don't need image, we just need this. So now we can get rid of this. So now our pages are server components, which is better for load time, build time, and all that. So now we have just this header component here, which has our overlay transition, our header, and whatever else it may be. So now we can just refer to that header. Oops, let me import it. Okay, we got header there, and we have header here. So then we're going to get rid of all that code there and all that code there, because we don't need that. Yeah, I guess a problem that I didn't realize I was going to run into is that you lose the loading here. So you lose the loading. So we're going to revert this back to just page container, where you can scroll. And otherwise, if you want to keep this loading here, I suppose you could use context, but that's for a later video. So now we have the header on every single page, and oh, I still have to make this visible. So there, load, boom, homepage, boom, perfect. Okay, now we have this. And then one last small step with this here is I'm going to make a utils folder, functions.js, and I am going to make the ease in and ease out functions. Ease in, and in the arguments here, I'm going to put ref. So then I'm going to take from the header. So this is the ease in right here. So we're going to just simply take this, go to our functions, ease in, ref, make another one here, ease out, bottom 0. And then I'm also going to export const timing equals 1,000. That way you don't have to change the timing functions of the variable every single time. So we can import timing there, timing, and then we can also import ease out function, and then in there we need transition ref. And then here, ease in. So this is just going to make your life a lot easier and your project a lot more organized. because now you're going to have it all in one place. And there's an error. Ease in is not defined. Whoops. We need to ease in. Okay, now we should be good. Okay, now we're good. The only problem here, this is very boring. This is so boring. I would never put this on my website. Actually, that's not true. My portfolio site kind of looks like that. A little bit. Not entirely, though. Okay, yeah, it's a little different. Actually, it's not very different, but it has a bar. But I'll probably update that later on. So let's get off of there. So what we can do, which I've seen before, and then this kind of has a similar thing to what we're about to do. A little bit similar. This is a very easy way to do this, is with the transition ref, we are going to add in a bunch of children. Just a bunch of divs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just add five divs here. And in the global.css, we're going to do overlay transition div width 20%, height 100%, and then we're going to move this stuff down here. Yes. And then we're gonna go display flex. Or actually, we could just make these display inline block, which is actually what we're gonna do. Inline block. Okay. So now we should have no transition. Okay, no transition. No transition. Perfect. Okay, that's what we want. So now, in these function files, we want, this is what we want. So we want to do spread operator array, ref.current.children for each child index, boom. Okay, take these, move them up. And so now we're going to have 3 different styles. So we're going to also have transition delay. And that's going to be equal to, let's see, we can go index divided by 10 plus seconds. And then we're going to go child. Take this over here. Bring it down. Same deal. Bottom. And then 0. Okay. This might give us the result we want. Perfect. Just what we want. One simple change. And that looks way better. That looks far better than what we had before. So now we have this site here where we have these beautiful page transitions. And also on hard reload, you don't get it. But what you can do is you could run, which I wouldn't recommend this because it'll turn everything into a client component, I believe, is you could run a UseEffect in here. In every page, essentially. And do window.on before unload. And then run a function there. So this would be on before unload. You want ease in. Ease in. And then your set timeout. And then also you, I believe, want e.prevent defaults up here. So ease in of, yeah, I guess in this case, you'd have to have the transform or the overlay transition element. You'd have to have it in here, most likely. But we're not going to do that because what we want is to keep it as a, we want to keep it as server components because that makes it much faster. So if we Control C here and npm run build, unless I made a major mistake here, every page should be considered static, which is great because that's going to improve our load time on every page. It's going to improve our user experience. It's going to improve everything. Okay, so here you see static pre-rendered as static content. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. And homepage slash page static, about page static, not found page static. Money. It's exactly what we want. So that is essentially how you do seamless page transitions, or it is one way. It's one way to do seamless page transitions. I know there's a lot of other ways, but that's how you do it in Next.js. For example, this page that I'm just no affiliation with this website or this brand. This is the first page that I found on Awards. This page does not use Next.js or Nuxt or Vue, which would be three SSR website builders, and they use none of them. So there are plenty of other methods to doing this, but this is the easiest, most effective method that I've found. So that's all for the video. If you guys found value in this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want. Currently at 2 subscribers. I'd like to get that to 3. That would be pretty cool. If you have any other suggestions of what else I should do tutorials on, feel free to comment. But yeah, that's all. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.